I'll start with Jasmine Simpkins. You're out of the Los Angeles Bureau. You know all about Hollywood. You're an entertainment reporter. I mean, this is the ultimate downside to fame. And now as these stars become globally famous, I mean, really, they're targets, aren't they?
They're huge targets, and it's really unfortunate. And I hate to use the word mental illness to describe people like this every time something happens, but I think we have to really take a hard look at the society that we live in. And there are a lot more people who are suffering from some sort of chemical imbalance, and they are doing these kinds of things to celebrities. We live in a very celebrity-obsessed culture nowadays, and they just aren't safe anywhere. They can't be on red carpets, and they can't even be in their home, God forbid.
Yeah, and, you know, this guy had quite a little history, and I understand it involves DUI and drugs and reckless driving. So, Elizabeth Espinoza, what have you learned about this character?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, just to give you a little reference. I know that you used to live in Los Angeles, so you know where Glendale is, but that's not very far, unfortunately, from the area where her home is. And again, it just goes to show, as you pose the question, where are celebrities safe? Are they safer on the red carpet when they're there with all that security? No. Look what just happened not so long ago. What was it, 2 weeks ago? Right in front of the El Capitan Theater here in Hollywood, the Walk of Fame. Brad Pitt at the, Maleficent premiere with his wife. And, of course, that was a Ukrainian journalist that's now been fired for that little prank. But that just goes to show how vulnerable they are. And in this case, in her own home. I can't even imagine. She's asleep, and this guy's going around her home for over an hour. So, again, I mean, we have to probably do something more in terms of
one of the things that I would say, first of all, is that there are many sophisticated surveillance systems. How about some old-fashioned alarms that go, bah! Because you can have surveillance cameras and see somebody and be terrified watching them on a monitor.
Yeah.
I mean, the systems that I see every time I go to upgrade my cell phone, supposedly they can, if somebody crosses a line, an invisible line, they call police automatically and that person's coming in. But then again, I remember when I had a system like that, I would always trip it by accident, and the cops were showing up in the middle of the night, making me stand outside my house and prove that it was me. So you can mess with it. Sometimes you disable it. But I think, first of all, I want to congratulate her for absolutely. And I'll go to Judy Ho on this, forensic psychologist, staying cool, calm, and collected. And instead of freaking out and getting hysterical, she retreated back to her room, locked the door, called 911. I mean, that is brilliant.
That's right, Jane. So she did a really good job here of staying calm, not antagonizing the person further by actually getting into it with him right there in her house. She did the right thing. She did the wise thing by getting back into her room, locking it, and calling the police right away and letting them take care of it. But one thing I wanted to say, too, about the profiles of stalkers. I know you mentioned that he has a rap sheet, but more than anything, stalkers tend to be really lonely individuals who tend not to have friends, who tend to be kind of isolated to the outside world, and that breeds delusional thinking. They believe they have a personal relationship with these celebrities, and that's really what led him to going to her house the way that he did.